What's going on, Legion fans? Welcome to another episode of Loki, the best Loki podcast.
That's right.
On the internet.
My favorite title out of all of our titles so far.
Well, we are talking about episode 2, the variant today. And
That's
man,
right.
We got before we jump into the episode.
Yes.
We got to address the fact that
Dude,
we're matching.
that's an awesome shirt.
Yeah,
that's
man.
a great shirt.
You too, man. It looks really sharp. You see,
sharp.
for the people who
Look
are at
at
home,
that,
right?
For
It
everyone
looks
at
nice.
home.
Right.
That's a nice shirt.
Well, this is a very important shirt.
Yeah.
Right? So this goes out to
What's
our
going on
Patreon.
with this shirt?
This goes out to our Patreon supporters. So our Patreon supporters, guys, if you guys have been a Patreon supporter anytime from May of 2021 back, so anytime
at any point
at any
there.
point. So
Any
if you
point
were a
in
Patreon
there.
supporter at any tier, any level, whether it
Any
be the
level.
first, second, or third level,
Right.
doesn't matter. We want to show our appreciation to you guys because of your contributions, we can continue to kind of up our game and do a better podcast. And
That's
so,
right. That's right. We wanna thank you guys for
Yeah.
just your support, your engagement with our content.
That's right.
It's amazing to be able to do this, and every week Greg and I come up with something new to be able to do to improve this.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you guys want to see how we have improved, go back and watch.
Watch the first one.
the first
So
episode
bad.
over Zoom. And then to today. But we thank you guys for all that you're doing to be able to make this dream a reality.
That's right. And in order to thank you guys, or in one way we're going to thank you guys, is we designed this T-shirt for the Legion.
No. Correct that. We did not design this T-shirt. Greg designed this T-shirt. I want to be clear where the creative talent lies here when it comes to design.
Well, you've got the yelling talent.
That's right. I mean, I bring the volume.
We all have our strengths.
Yeah.
All right.
I bring the boom.
That's
all
right,
right.
you do.
You bring everything else.
It's a little more even than that. So we have this shirt. We are going to gift it to every one of our Patreon
That's right.
supporters.
That's right.
So if you are a Patreon supporter and you would like one of these shirts,
Sure.
jump over to Patreon. We're going to put up a post on Patreon giving you the details of how to get in contact with us and how we can get the shirt to you.
Yep.
So go on Patreon, check the wall, check our page. We will have all the details there.
Yep.
If you are not on Patreon, I'm sorry, this shirt is not available to you, but we may do at some point, do a limited run where we sell this one out to people if
Maybe
they want
this one,
to.
but you have something else that's coming up that
We do, yeah,
You want
we
to
have-
give a little sneak peek on.
Yeah, so we do have, you are not a Patreon member now.
Yet, not yet.
Yeah,
You better get on it.
You're going to want to jump on board because in September, we're going to be running a raffle for October for another shirt coming out in October.
This is going to be a limited edition shirt. This
Yeah.
shirt is going to incorporate another one of Greg and my passion. So we got education, we got this podcast and comics.
Right.
We've got zombies.
Zombies
Zombies are going to be making it into the fold here.
That's
I can't
true.
believe we've made it this far. We're on like episode 64 of podcasting, and we haven't talked about zombies to this point.
I know.
So
well, we got to change that probably around the time when we release this shirt.
Exactly. I'm going to need to do some thinking.
Yeah.
We can do some Walking Dead maybe,
Ooh,
but
yeah,
that's
we
all
should.
perfection. I don't know about any correction there. We'd have to think about how we want to approach that.
We'll have to talk about it. But
Yeah.
anyway, so there will be a raffle available to every Patreon member.
That's right.
Coming up in September for a limited edition, limited printed zombie Legion shirt. So
exactly.
if that sounds like something you want to get a part of,
If you're excited for that,
jump in.
get on now. Now's
yeah.
the time.
That's right.
Now's the time.
Yeah, and if you join now, you won't risk missing out on
Any
another
more
one of these.
merch?
Yeah.
Any more merch? We've been talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. This is
That's
just the
right.
very beginning.
That's right. All right. So if you're not a Patreon supporter, get supporting. We would love that. If you are a Patreon supporter, thank you guys so much.
That's right.
And
Look
these
out
shirts,
for your shirts. Make
yeah.
sure that you have to go on Patreon. So
Yes,
if you
you
listen
have
to
to
us
go
through
there.
Spotify or watch us on YouTube,
Yeah.
you have to go on to Patreon. You got to let us know your size and where to send it.
That's right. If you don't tell us those things, we just
can't get it to you.
Well, we get another shirt.
That's right.
Which isn't the worst.
Not the end of the world.
No, but we want to send it to you.
We do.
All right. Let's get back to Loki. So this
Okay.
week, episode 2,
So
the variant. Yeah.
am I gonna get any props here? We're
In which
100%
part?
bugged. We're 100% bugged.
Which part?
The end.
The end. Oh,
Are you kidding me?
disrupting the sacred
I'm
timeline?
about to. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
I am losing my mind over here.
Yo, it was great.
I said you can rewind back to our preview on this. I said it would be fitting. It'd be so fitting that Loki is the one who creates the multiverse.
Yeah, for
Loki
sure.
is the one who does that. And it looks like that has happened. I know we have to tag that it looks like
it.
They're not cutting all those branches. No, it's not happening.
It looked like it was literally like the nightmare sequence that the Ancient One talked about in Endgame. Where it's like, if you mess this up, then branches are going to go everywhere and it's going to ruin everything.
Yes.
And that's what this looks like.
The Ancient One gave a little bit of foreshadowing here, and that's exactly what's going on.
That's right, yeah. So, and we'll talk about
Where
that.
Do you think the Ancient One falls in terms of power compared to the TVA, given that the Ancient One knew of the different timelines and the impact that could have fallen in there?
Yeah, I think
Where do you think that falls?
she's still pretty relatively low down, because you think about it, like
fair.
Doctor Strange will eventually become way more powerful than her, and he was pretty powerful by the time he was no match for Thanos, and Thanos had trouble holding the stones, and they use him as paperweights. So I don't think
it's fair.
I don't think she's necessarily
good correlation.
Intellect, maybe. Intellect, maybe she might be up there.
That's right. That's a good point.
But I don't think like
maybe
raw power,
comprehension of the universe.
Yeah, maybe
stuff. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna, at the end of this episode. Don't let me forget. We're gonna talk about those specific branches, because you probably didn't do it. Actually, well, if I'm honest, I didn't do it either. But somebody did it on the internet. They freeze framed all the different places that got affected on the TV screen.
Yeah.
And I wrote them down.
Awesome.
So we're going to talk about each of those at the end of the episode, because that happened at the end of the episode. But let's talk about what got us there.
Let's do it. Yeah, between now and then.
Yeah, so Loki gets, he gets roped into helping the TVA. He gets his own TVA jacket.
So this is
on the back.
Yeah, so this is the gear that you see in the photo. And initially I was like, oh, they gave him a TVA jacket.
Like a detective
this is probably
going
to be it's a detective jacket. And it's always it's not. It looks like an FBI jacket.
It does. You're right. Even the lettering on the back.
It's going to say FBI.
Doesn't.
And instead of saying TVA, which he would expect, it says variant, which is just funny. It's just great. She was like very clear.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody to forget what you are out in the field.
Right, and it's also to make sure. I think it's also to mark him. So he makes mention where they're like, if they see the variant, they're gonna neutralize it or reset it.
Yeah,
and he's like, unless it's a good one, unless it's me.
Yeah,
he's like, don't get me,
don't cut me.
Yeah, so I think it's also partially to mark him for them, so that they don't know, so that they know.
Well, because when they were showing all of the different variations of
Loki,
like you're like, oh, they all kind of look like him, I guess.
Yeah,
like I think my favorite was the Loki Hulk.
Yes, yeah.
That
the
was
monster
absolutely
Loki.
my favorite.
I don't know, the Tour de France Loki, the
biker
biker Loki.
Yeah,
they actually did have. They had two of those variants were actually variants that, one movie fans would recognize, and other hardcore comic fans would recognize. So the first one was Frost Giant Loki.
Yeah,
so he was like all blue and stuff, and he was so he kind of gave in to his heritage.
Yep.
Which we saw in the first Thor movie, where he
has the ability to do so
because he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah,
so he chose to look like the Asgardians, but his natural look is that blue giant look.
Yeah,
and then one of the
he's a frost giant. Yeah,
I don't know if it was the last one or if it was one of the ones near the end, but there was one that looked like a Viking, had a big Viking helmet on and big Viking.
Yeah.
So Viking Loki is actually from the Mighty Thor run. I think it's volume 3. And he was like spitting image of the Mighty Thor run. So it was kind of cool.
It was cool to see. I will just
the Hulk
say,
one was
the Hulk
great,
one is
hilarious.
hilarious.
The big green monster.
But the key here is they were all male,
right?
And they all looked like him.
Yes.
This is where they expected what they were going to run into was
another
going
him.
to be another him.
Well, we're gonna talk about that too, because I've actually. So an eagle-eyed fan saw something.
Yes,
which we'll talk about.
We can talk about that, but I also want to talk about the fact that he made the comment, "This isn't how I would treat me."
Right? Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't treat me this way.
Yes, he would.
Well, I think, maybe.
Maybe he would use himself to get to his own ends, and if he thought he was useless, he would disregard.
That's a good point. That is a really good point.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he just wants to survive.
Because they weren't on like parallel paths to what they wanted to have happen.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, so
this Loki we're looking at, our Loki, the Loki that the show follows.
Yeah.
Is
our
almost,
variant.
I'm just telling you right now, it almost seems like he's a defective Loki.
Yeah, like something's wrong with him.
Well, that something's wrong with him.
Maybe.
And here's the reason why.
Yeah, why you think?
Catch me on this.
All right.
Okay. This goes back. This is a thread that has come up now in both of these episodes.
Yes.
He's not mischievous. He's not. He's power hungry. He is different.
I don't know.
He's
I think
different
the MCU,
than the god of mischief.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think he's
I'm telling you, there's something just with this
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not with the one. You got to remember.
No, the one from
this
the MCU
Loki is different from the MCU Loki that we've seen all along the way.
But the MCU Loki wasn't mischievous either. Other than
but that's what But he dies. That's the way. That's
Sure.
the life he was supposed to live.
Right.
What I am telling you is, I believe there's something
He's
more
unique.
going on
He's
here.
a unique
He's
variant.
a unique variant.
I would agree with that.
Because his plan, when he reveals his plan at the end of this episode,
Yeah.
like, he talks about wanting power to overthrow the timekeepers.
Right. He wants to. Well, but he always said in the MCU, he always said he was made to rule. Right. He wanted
but then
to rule.
He changed.
Oh, sure, but
then
this is
he changed.
But this is early Loki, so he's still there.
That, but what I'm saying, it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll talk to you more about it when we
Okay,
get there.
I was gonna say
let's dig into some of the earlier stuff
All right.
first. I've got a lot I want to hit there. Though.
Yeah. So they go to the Ren Fair,
Yeah.
and we see in the 80s, and we see the
They're
other variant.
completely out of place.
Oh, completely. Yeah, I love it.
The one woman's
Dude, you're not even trying.
You're not even
Yeah,
trying.
you're not dressed the way we're
Right.
supposed to be dressed. Yeah, but we see the variant show up,
Right.
and the variant mind controls some people.
Yeah.
so it uses like some
new
green
technique
mind
here.
control.
Yep.
Yeah, looked very similar to Scarlet Witch's mind control.
Yeah, the
like,
tap.
the
The
tap on the head.
Yep.
On the head. Green eyes, though she obviously Scarlet Witch was red eyes.
Yep.
And then we see the Loki variant.
But magic's magic.
Oh, sure.
That's
well,
the thing I want to tell you about here.
yeah, but Wanda's magic was well, yeah, but it is her magic.
Think
it was
about it,
awakened
though.
by the Mind Stone, so it's got some infinity power in it. Loki doesn't.
But each of their colors were different. So,
Sure. Oh yeah, we got purple for Catherine Hahn's character, and then we've got red for Scarlet Witch.
Exactly. And
we got
his is green
for Loki.
Right. And so what
Yeah.
I'm saying is they can use magic in similar ways,
Sure.
probably.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what I'm
maybe.
saying is, like, there's going to be some overlap here, I bet, in
Yeah.
some of the ways he uses his magic.
Yeah. He
Or
dried.
or she uses her magic.
Hey, getting ahead of ourselves.
Just saying.
He dried himself off with magic.
Yeah, I know.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she mind controls and she kills a bunch of the TVA agents.
Yep.
Now I'm getting ahead of myself.
Right.
Well, spoilers. And then
I've already spoiled it.
I know.
I spoiled it
long ago.
4 minutes ago.
And then the
She
variant
captures
takes one of them.
Right.
Yeah, which
she
is
kidnaps
new.
one, which has not been. We have not seen that to this point. She's
Right.
just killed everyone to this point.
Right. Or at least it's what they've found.
Sure.
And then she also. So Loki's known for his daggers. In fact,
Right.
he's given them for a moment by Mobius and then
immediately
get taken away,
Immediately
which
taken
makes
away.
total sense.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
She has
so
another
Mobius,
blade, though.
Mobius.
I don't know. I think Mobius is more powerful than he lets on.
That's what I'm talking about. I think there's something
something's
more with
different about him.
Mobius. There's something more with Mobius.
He's more. He's obsessed with things outside of the time variance, even though he was created there.
I gotta tell you,
he loves jet skis.
At one point, so after this whole breakdown, after C-20 is taken,
right,
and they have to report back that they've lost another squad. This has happened at the Ren Fair. They show up. All of that happens. They do the whole diagnostic. Loki
distracts them, keeps them there,
and tries to bide for time, and Mobius is like, no, he's lying. All right, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a great scene because I loved Loki. Loki had me believing at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe he did. Actually notice something. The way he looked at the crime scene. The way he studied like one of the bodies.
He's
I was
good,
like,
man. He's
he
a
caught
deceiver.
I was like, maybe he did.
Yeah.
And then he's going through this whole description, not a beat, like didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
He's describing everything perfectly, but I loved Owen Wilson with him. He literally
he's
looks
looking
at him, and he's staring him down.
Yeah.
And he's just, no, he's lying.
Back
it was
to it.
Great. Back to it, guys. They're not, she's not out there.
Yeah.
Or at the time,
The
he's not out there.
variant's
The variant's not out there.
Yeah.
But after that scene,
Yeah.
what really started to happen was he named for Loki, you're going to need to do some work. How you're going
Right.
to dig out of this, how you're going to work your way out of this is you're going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
The show shifted for me. It became a buddy cop comedy.
Right.
At
right,
that
right.
moment. It
Yeah.
did.
Sure.
It did
sure.
for the next about 20 minutes until
Yeah.
they went out on
Back in the field.
back into the field.
Yeah. To the
It was a
Rock
buddy
Smart.
cop comedy.
Yeah.
They're back behind the scenes working together. They're having friendly competitions,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
like
Who
a
can find
man's
this
wager. Who
fast?
can
Yeah,
find
yeah.
this? Yeah, like
Messing
it
with
was
his
great.
food.
Yeah, messing with his food.
I love that. The
that's that
metaphor
whole
was so
scene,
great
the
when
whole
he's pouring
metaphor.
stuff and he just keeps
Yep.
shaking the stuff in the salad.
But so they
Yeah,
have
it was great.
Loki study himself.
Yeah.
They have Loki dig into all of the past variants
Yeah.
and
yeah.
say, okay, maybe there's something here that we missed.
And he finds it,
He
which
finds
is
it.
which
Right.
is just fantastic.
Right.
Before we go into what he found, though,
Yeah.
I did want to mention that the variant doesn't have daggers. I brought up daggers for a reason.
Right.
Doesn't
okay.
have daggers. She has a sword.
Oh,
so
yeah,
she,
that's right.
She has a
That's
pointy,
right.
she has a blade object weapon, but it's not the typical
I hear you.
Loki daggers.
I hear you.
It's
yeah.
like a full-on sword. So I thought it was cool. We obviously it goes with the whole every Loki is a little bit different, but she doesn't have daggers. She has a
Right.
big sword, which is
Right.
cool. But anyway, so they go hunting through the archives, and Loki gets a new perspective on it by seeing Ragnarok, which is
right.
super
Emotional.
oh my goodness! And
Yeah.
I was
Pulls
reading
at the heartstrings.
I was reading an article. Somebody noticed that I honestly, man, there's so many written things on the screen.
This
on
episode had a lot. Yeah.
and just in the last episode too. And this show I think is going to be a lot of. And I'm so glad. So props to all you fans in there that freeze frame things for me, so I can
Yeah,
go
they're
and look at
screen
them.
capturing.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Disney
know how they
isn't
even do
allowing
it.
you to screen
I think they're probably just
capture
taking
anything.
pictures on their phones, but
Right, but Disney isn't allowing you to screen
No,
capture
they
anything.
black it
black it out.
which is genius.
Oh,
but
it's brilliant, but it's so infuriating.
man, on the Ragnarok file,
Yeah.
they mentioned the Revengers.
Yeah.
Which is the name
Yeah.
that Thor and
Yeah.
the Hulk, the Revengers. So
I did
just
see that,
little
yeah.
bits. It's so
Oh,
funny.
they capture it all. And
But
what it
he
shows
sees
is
that.
like the TVA. Like,
Yeah, they
just
see
like
all
at
of
the
it.
beginning. Just like at the
Yeah.
beginning. Sign off. This is everything that you've
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah.
Like, and he pulls another
You
sheet.
can't
when
be
he
serious,
talks.
and
Yeah,
he
he
brings
pulls
it down.
another
Yeah.
sheet. But literally,
They
they
catch
catch
everything.
everything.
I love it.
Except
Except for this little, and I know you don't like time travel. And
I don't.
I know, but I thought this was a cool little way to hide inside how they've described time travel and how they described figuring out problems.
I'm going to tell you in a second here more why I am angry about time travel.
Yeah, sure.
In this episode specifically.
Yeah.
But go ahead and tell me more
Okay,
about
so
what you're saying.
Well, anyway, so the premise that the Loki has a theory, and they go to they go to Pompeii to try the theory out, right?
Right.
So his theory is that when there is a big enough cataclysmic event, apocalyptic event,
Sure.
something that wipes out anything that could influence the future in that timeline,
Mm-hmm.
when that event is about to occur during the whatever amount of time you can get to that event that involves no one from that event leaving,
Right.
you can do whatever you want, and it won't create any kind of readings on their
Variance.
devices
Yep.
because in a few moments everything goes away
Yep.
and nothing there could actually affect anything. So you can
Right.
do whatever you want, and then it all wipes out, and there's no anomaly created in the timeline. And so he's believing that the variant is hiding in these anomalies, and they go to Pompeii to try that out. He does a bunch of crazy stuff. He
Right.
tells people they're from the future, and then everything blows up, and it creates no anomaly because
Right.
their devices just register this as a clipped bit of time because everything gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And so,
So-
I think that's so cool.
I think so. Here, let
Yeah,
me
go
let
for
me
it.
address that point.
Address it.
I think that is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Thank
great
goodness.
point. I think that is cool. Still doesn't make time travel justified or good
No,
in any way,
no.
shape, or form.
No, I just think it's
Let
cool
me
though.
explain what I'm saying.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Within, here's where the complication comes in.
I love it. Of
Every
course.
time
It's time travel.
that time travel is in a movie,
Right.
they can't solve for something. They can't explain something.
Sure.
It's always the case.
Of course,
in
time
a
travel is
movie,
really complicated.
Okay. And in this one, what they are essentially doing to try and tackle that is
Yeah.
the TVA exists outside of time.
Right.
Time is just one linear strand.
Well, the time that they're protecting is that strand.
The time that they are protecting
Yep.
is one linear strand
Yes.
that exists from the very beginning of time
Right.
to whatever the timekeepers have unraveled from the previous multiverse.
Right.
So,
right. From the original multiverse
Exactly.
war that
Yep.
they ended up.
Yep.
And they claim
So-
it's the end. They claim they
Nope,
have the end.
They claim what Mobius was saying is they claim they will have the end.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
continuing to toil away
Sure.
at unraveling the future, and then they will have the end.
And they're keeping it in line with what they want.
Exactly, but the point here, and they're determining which lines are the ones that you keep.
Right, exactly.
Which line
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
the right one.
Right.
However,
Yes.
what that means is the TVA exists outside of this strand
Right.
and just goes to different places on this strand.
Yes. Here's the thing: the Time Variance Authority. I don't think they believe it's time. I don't think they would consider themselves time travelers. They're time keepers, and they're stopping
they
people
are
who
time
mess
travelers.
up. Well, sure, because they are.
Because they travel to different places in time.
Right.
But it's a different form of time travel.
Right, because
than
they're not
we've
from
ever
a time.
seen before.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is,
Yeah.
let's use the end game, the Avengers. They were from this point in time.
Right.
And they traveled to a different point in time, or
Right.
multiple different points in time.
Right. The
on
TVA is
the
standing
time
back
shift.
from
Yeah,
that.
the TVA is actually standing back from. They do not
great.
even exist
Yeah.
in the timeline.
Right.
They are just going from that non-existent time place to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't even know what they are, though, man.
But
because
that's my point.
well-
is like none of this. So what I'm saying is it's not time travel. They're creating a new form of time travel that hasn't been used before.
Well, it's used in the Marvel Comics and the TVA, but
yes,
it's just
but what I'm saying,
Yeah,
I'm talking
it's-
about in movies.
Sure.
And so what I'm saying
That's
is,
great.
No, it's not. It
yeah,
sucks.
they're time
They do
police.
it every time.
No, they're time police, man. Here's the thing. What I'm really interested in.
No, they're not. Do not say they are time police.
well,
Don't do it.
they're policing.
What? Because what are you going to say next? They're time cops?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Hey, no.
Here's the thing. I want to know.
They're not even time police.
That's why I said yes. They are. They're policing the timeline. They're keeping the timeline where it's supposed to be. See, that's what.
So what are they? So then it's time cop.
Yeah.
This
With Owen Wilson and Loki. What I want to know
This is
is
the worst.
what I want to know is what is Mobius? Like what are they? Because
That's true.
because
he
he
said
mentions he was
yes.
created by the timekeepers and he's there.
He exists there.
He does-
He doesn't exist.
he's not in a
Not
time.
in a time.
And he's
not
obsessed
like,
with the 90s
He's
on
not
Earth.
like Loki. Yeah, he's obsessed with the 90s. The
I
early
love it.
90s. The early 90s.
I love it. It's like
Yeah.
but what is he? You know, like
who isn't obsessed with the early 90s
yeah,
on Earth?
tell me about it.
Truthfully.
Anyway, so they figure out this anomaly. Loki figures out this anomaly.
Yeah.
And they find, and then I love the connection that Mobius makes.
That's where
of
this
the
is
gum,
buddy cop. This
right?
is just
Yeah.
buddy cop stuff. Yeah.
So it's the one thing
Yep.
the other Loki left behind
Yep,
from
they have
their person.
one other thing to actually point to, and it's that.
And so they figure out where is there a giant, apocalyptic event
Yep.
and this kind of bubble gum,
Right.
and it's in the future.
Yeah.
In Alabama,
Right.
And they go there, and it's a perfect spot. It's
Right.
it's literally like a giant
Can I?
Walmart.
I want to go to the gum for a second there.
Yeah, yeah.
That also is something that falls outside of something that Loki would normally do.
Yes.
Loki wouldn't give
a kid. He wouldn't quiet a kid
gum.
down. He'd kill him.
He'd kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill him or
Yeah.
like make him poof into another area.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he wouldn't give him gum.
Yeah. I know. Well,
and that's
and
different.
we'll get to that.
Okay, I know.
I
know.
think I have a very specific theory about this
Okay.
variant that goes along with some different stuff.
Okay,
But anyway,
go ahead.
all right. So they go to I think it's called Rocksmart or
Yeah.
So it's a play off of the big consumer company that's all throughout Marvel Comics. They mentioned
Yeah.
Roxxon. They mentioned them in the Iron Man movies,
Yeah.
and they've got like a Walmart in the future apparently. That's super cool looking.
Yeah.
And they go
It's got
in there.
holograms outside.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
better,
yeah, of how to
2050
shop.
rolls around, we better have
Yo,
outdoor
we're not that far
holograms.
from then.
We better have outdoor holograms.
I hope so. I
We
really
better have
hope so.
holograms
In general.
just all over the place.
Listen,
Even the name tag is a scrolling electronic
is.
name tag from Randy.
you know, I don't even need holograms all over the place. Just give me like, even if it's like just only rich people have holograms, just the
Right.
fact that I could see a hologram.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even want one in my house. I think it would freak me out.
Oh, it would definitely freak me out.
I want to
yeah.
just see one. I want to see
Yeah.
one.
Can
That's
you
it.
imagine like
Just holograms at the
on
store.
your Apple,
Yeah.
like or your phone,
Oh, like
a hologram pops up?
Order 66.
Yep. Order
That's- it's
66. That's
just-
at
that's
Order
where it
66.
goes.
Yep.
Anyway, so,
Yep.
so they go there, and Loki's right. The Loki is there, or the variant is there,
Yep.
hiding out.
He's helped them
Yeah,
track
he
this all
actually
the way
did it.
through, and exactly worked
Yeah.
with Mobius in a way that they were actually complementing each other
Yes.
and supporting each other's skill sets.
Yeah, and then everything goes south when they get
Which
there.
is like Mobius is like knives.
yeah. And she's like, absolutely not.
No.
I love that. I wish he had him. He would have been able to stop him if he hadn't. Well, he might have been able to. I
Might
don't know. Anyway, we don't know how strong this variant is. But the variant is there, and everything goes sideways. We find the missing TVA agent,
Sure.
and we find out that this Loki or this variant has read her mind, and
Yeah.
she's told
Yep.
them where the timekeepers are.
Well, she was also saying something about it is real. It is real. Like
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she was messed up.
she was real
So
messed up.
She
yeah.
who knows what she went through, but she told the variant where the timekeepers are,
Where the
and something
timekeepers
is
are
real.
and how
Yeah.
to get there.
And how to get there. Yeah, which is that's not good.
No.
That's not
No.
good because this Loki or this variant wants to take over everything
I don't
or
agree.
something.
I don't
know what
agree.
they want to do. They want
I
to
don't
mess with
agree.
someone.
I
Well,
don't agree that,
she
that this
said-
variant wants to take over.
no,
everything.
you're right. Our Loki wants to take over everything.
Our Loki wants to take
She
over.
said
everything,
she didn't care for the timekeeper. She didn't care about them.
She didn't care. No, she didn't care
Right.
about ruling the timeline.
Right. She didn't care about that, but she did care, obviously, about messing the timeline
But
up.
that's my point.
Yeah.
This is what I
All
wanted
right.
to say.
Go for it.
Loki is the god of mischief,
Yes.
chaos,
Yes. She's creating chaos.
reigns supreme for Loki.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Chaos for our Loki, our variant,
Yeah.
doesn't reign supreme.
Right. He just wants to
He
rule.
wants control.
Yeah. Okay.
He wants to
Interesting.
rule.
Yeah.
That isn't what Loki is meant to do.
Right. He's
Loki
different.
is different. Loki wants chaos. Loki wants mischief. Loki
Yeah.
wants insanity.
Hmm.
Our Loki wants to be in control, wants to strip people of their freedom,
Right.
wants to be the one who controls.
Hmm.
That's not what Loki is supposed to be doing, which is why I said at the beginning why I thought this Loki, our Loki,
Yeah.
is a defective Loki.
Right.
Loki should be doing what the
variant did.
variant, the female Loki, is doing.
Lady Loki.
The second Loki heard that there is one strand and that his reaction actually at the beginning that his actions were not his own, that they were all part of a pre-planned
Right.
Um,
Right.
a strand of time that was controlled by these timekeepers, these lizards as he refers to them.
Yeah.
He lost his mind. That's the reaction that should be, but his then thought was, oh, I want to rule that. Oh,
Right.
that's the power I want.
All right.
So my point is there's some
He's not as chaotic
exactly
as this
Exactly.
variant is.
And
Okay,
this-
I agree
this-
with that.
This
Yeah, yeah.
variant is the god of mischief.
Well, okay, we'll get to that. All right,
Well,
so let's get
what
to
I'm saying is,
yeah.
or at least
She is portraying
she's portraying that.
mischief more
I
than
hear
him.
you more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But my
All right.
point is, like, she's at least moving towards the right thing
Yeah.
that you would expect Loki to. That's the
right.
thing that you would expect Loki to gravitate towards.
Yeah, instead of just taking over.
Right.
Okay.
If you want to
All right.
create mischief,
Yeah.
if you want to create mischief,
Yeah.
are you going to take over, or are you going to be the one who creates mischief in the whole system so the system breaks?
Well, so okay, but that I do agree now with what you're saying. But what I would say is I would take over so that then no one could stop me from creating all the mischief. But it doesn't matter.
But if
Regardless,
you're the god of
it's the
mischief,
same idea.
you can't get stopped anyways.
Well, yes.
Well, but my point is, or you believe you won't be able to.
Yeah. Well, he still believes that, and
Right.
and she must believe it too. She's pretty gutsy. If
That's
she's
right.
dropping bombs on the sacred
She's
timeline.
dropping. The sacred butt timeline was bombed.
Was bombed,
Yeah.
which is great. All right, so she shows up. We get the final reveal here at the end of the episode
Yep.
of the variant, and it is a chick.
Yeah.
And she's got the horned helmet.
Yeah.
Is broken though, and for Loki fans, like so, it's missing a horn.
Yeah.
So one of the horns is broken off. Loki fans will
Is it
remember.
completely broken off?
Yeah, it's like a little stump
chipped.
at the
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
no, well, but there's no point left. It's like a
Yeah.
It's got a full point on the one side and then like half of a
Right,
horn on the
exactly,
other side. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I'm with you.
So fans of the Loki series, which I'm actually not. I have not read a lot of the Loki solo comics, but Loki, Agent of Asgard number 11, I think is the first time that you see the broken Loki horn.
Yeah.
And it actually goes really well with this idea because it's worn by a younger Loki who is visited by a future Loki. This actually kind of goes with what you're talking about, who is King Loki and has taken over everything, and the younger Loki realizes he doesn't want to do that. He wants to go a different path.
Exactly.
And so she is going a different path than the King Loki, which we're seeing in our Loki,
Right.
by creating a lot of mischief and instead of just taking over. So
Right.
she's kind of changing her mark in the timeline by going around and messing stuff up.
Yeah.
So Loki, Agent of Asgard, I believe, also has appearances by Lady Loki. So Lady Loki is a character in the comics. It's the female version of Loki, and that's kind of what the majority of people are saying that this Loki or this variant is, that she's a Lady Loki.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now there are some problems with that.
Okay.
All right, first biggest problem. Well, not the biggest problem, but a weird problem if they chose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Loki has black hair, and she has and black long hair, and she has short blonde hair in this episode. So I know that seems kind of nitpicky.
Some minute detail that
could
they
be a
could
little
just
they
pass
could
over.
just change.
Yeah.
But Lady Loki is. I mean, it's a very prominent look, and this woman
fair.
does not have that. So
True.
that's one thing. The other thing, which again, those Eagle Eye fans, they're pausing credits and watching credits. Man, those credits are so freaking long.
I know.
I fast forward through them to see if there's anything at the end, but I'm not going through and weeding through all the credits. I did that for Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this one I have been. So somebody went through.
And this, truthfully, this is the one we probably should be doing it more
Yeah,
for.
probably. So somebody went through and they saw in the main credits.
Right.
All right, I'm going to mispronounce her name if I don't read it. So Sophia Di, I don't know if it's D or Die. Sophia Di Martino is the woman who plays the variant, the Lady Loki. And in the main credits, she's listed, her character name is Variant, or The Variant. I can't remember.
Okay.
So that's what she's listed
not
as.
listed as Loki.
Not listed as Lady Loki.
Yeah.
It gets crazier, though.
Okay.
As the credits go through, there's all the fancy American credits, and then they cut to, like, the foreign field credits and things like that.
Sure, yeah.
So in that, she's listed as something different.
What is she listed as?
So in that, she's listed as Sylvie.
Oh.
Okay? Now, Sylvie is a really tiny Marvel thing.
Yeah.
So Sylvie Lushton is a character in the Marvel Comics. All right? She's a young girl
Yeah.
who has blonde hair.
Yep.
That's short.
Yep.
And she was given powers by Loki.
Yeah.
And she was turned into what later becomes the Marvel version of Enchantress. So not to be confused with the terrible Suicide Squad Enchantress that we saw in the
not
movies.
same thing, different comics.
Similar powers, but she becomes Enchantress, and she becomes her own magical being who is very mischievous.
Interesting.
So is it Lady Loki when they changed her hair color, or is it Sylvie Lushton who becomes Enchantress?
I like the Sylvie Lushton.
I hope it is
better.
I hope it is.
Here's
what
I
would
would
be a
like.
risk.
Here's what I would like.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where I bet.
Right.
Sylvie Lushton.
Yeah.
They're gonna combine some storylines here. I bet.
Probably.
Hear me out on
they
this.
usually do.
Sylvie Lushton gets visited by King Loki.
Yeah.
Who our King Loki.
Sure.
Who has taken over the timeline.
Yeah.
Has messed something up terribly.
Right.
Comes back and explains to her that the timeline is actually the problem.
Okay.
And that is not the ultimate power. And
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
not or
I like
that
that.
like something terrible happens if they just follow the timeline.
And so she's going to mess it up.
Like
her
the
plan
end
is to
of
mess it
time
up.
is something horrific.
Okay.
Or something like
Yeah.
that. So her plan, and the only way that he can see that they survive is he imbues her with powers that allow her to then go throughout the timelines
maybe.
and create variances and create all of these different
branches.
and create the multiverse.
Yeah, maybe. I really hope, I like that theory. I really hope it's Enchantress because I feel like that'd be gutsy.
And I bet, and that could even lead to more of why
She's so different.
No. Where she paused with him and talked with him more.
Oh, yeah.
Because she may actually care for him.
Well, she was
in
stalling.
like a father figure, maybe,
so she could plant all the bombs.
or cares for him in a father figure role.
Yeah, maybe.
But knows she can't ally with him because he's told her, his future self has told her that he will do that.
He'll take over and he'll ruin everything.
And he'll ruin it all.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's what
that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be. See, that, like, to me, they've already, and props for them. They've already stepped out, and that it's not just Tom Hiddleston versus Tom Hiddleston, which I know you were a little worried about them, like coming.
Well,
Tom
it's not Tom
Hiddleston
versus Tom Hiddleston. I still don't like if it's Loki versus Loki.
Sure.
Even if it's Lady Loki
versus
regular Loki. I'm still not going to like that.
Yeah.
There needs to. I
but
really was hoping
different.
for your idea around like.
I think
Kang
it still
in some
might.
way.
So I think it still might. So you're saying King Loki is coming to? I still think Kang is the puppeteer.
Or it could be that there's a future Loki who has experienced what happens if Kang gets to run his plan forward.
Yeah,
he gets back in time, is able
to. Yeah,
to
that's true. And then
imbue into her.
That would make sense why Renslayer goes running in because she wants to
Right.
stop this because this is going to mess up what Kang is doing.
Yeah, and so the
maybe.
only way to stop Kang is, in a similar way to the use of the eye.
Yeah.
Where a Strange was like, I looked at all of the futures and we only succeed in one.
Right.
In a similar way, where they need Kang,
yeah,
they need to be able to defeat Kang. We need a multiverse to be able to find one universe where we defeat Kang.
Yeah, you got to mess it up before you fix it.
Exactly.
And so mess it up. And then they can also, I mean, there's been talks about them going to the multiverse and grabbing heroes that have died in our universe or died here and bringing different versions of them to come in.
No one
There's a
dies.
few. We don't have Captain America. We have the new Captain America, but we don't have.
No one dies.
They could go. Iron Man's dead. They could bring Iron Man back.
They better not bring Iron Man or Captain America back in the form of Steve Rogers.
No, but here's the thing: they could bring other
had
people.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
No. I'm saying they could bring other versions. So like Ironheart, they could bring Riri Williams. They could bring Ironheart in.
Okay.
So like that's an Iron Man from a different timeline, multiverse.
Yes.
Like they could do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could go and they could go and grab a young Goliath and bring him in. You know, and so,
but you get my point here. That,
for sure.
Like essentially,
they mess it up
in
order to fix it.
Exactly,
which is great.
They need
cool
multiple timelines. To be able to figure out where do we or how do we defeat Kang.
And I'd be okay with that.
That would be brilliant.
All right, so let's wrap it up with this. I'm going to list for you.
They don't have the next episode shot yet. They were waiting for us to film this so that they could hear and take what our thoughts were.
Well, they better be listening.
Because they've been doing it.
We've been doing good stuff.
We've been on it.
We've been on good work. All right, here's the places disrupted by the variance bombs.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Now, there were about 4 or 5 that were on Earth that had no real... Like, it was whatever. It was just places. So I didn't include those.
Okay.
I included the ones that we've seen in the MCU.
Watch those 4 being the most important.
Probably.
Right.
My luck. All right. Well, so this is the year and the place.
Okay.
So 2301. So that's in the future.
2301.
2301. Vormir.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Soulstone location.
Soulstone location.
Right.
Okay.
Now that's after Black Widow's dead, and that's after Gamora's dead. So like the branches can't affect things before it. It only affects in the future. But it still could have something to do with the Soulstone magic that brings them back.
Hear me out.
Like
in terms of my thoughts on Black Widow still being alive on Vormir.
Well, we thought that was her in the trailer too. Yeah.
Right. So there's something else here.
Yeah.
In that she may be either alive on Vormir, which would be an insane amount of time to be alive on Vormir.
Yeah, 2301. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it could resurrect her at that time.
Time could go different.
Sure.
Or she is the protector of the Soulstone on Vormir.
Oh yeah, she's taken over.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would be okay. That would be a way I would be okay with her coming back because she can't leave the planet then. She's just there as the protector. And it would be a cool way to have like a cameo of her.
Right.
That'd be okay. All right, 2004.
Okay. Oh,
So that's in the kind of in the well that's before Iron Man, right? 2004. I don't remember. Yeah, right.
roughly, yeah. Yeah, but what?
So Asgard.
Ooh.
So interesting. So
Yeah.
on Asgard, 2004.
Okay.
So that would be like, yeah. Well, Thor and Loki would be adults at that point because they're like 900 years
Yeah.
old. But
exactly.
yeah, weird.
They would be there.
Yeah, they'd be there though.
Yep.
And Odin would be there.
Yep.
Right. So 1984 on Sakaar, the Grandmaster's planet from Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, 1984 Sakaar. I wonder if the Grandmaster had gotten stranded there yet. I don't know. That's weird.
That's true. He may not have been.
He might not have been there yet.
Yep.
We might, or he might be there. They had statues of like Beta Ray Bill on there, and so we might see some of that. So that'd be kind of
okay.
Cool. Now we're going real far back. 1382, on Ego.
Oh, on
the planet,
Ego,
the celestial planet. So Peter Quill's father.
Clearly
1382.
Clearly, he's made himself a planet by that point.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So at that point, something happens. Something's going to disrupt his time.
All right.
1982 on Titan, on Thanos' homeworld. So that's
that could
real
be
interesting.
around the time.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how old Thanos is. Who
I'm
knows?
wondering these events. I'm wondering if they have like significant.
Yeah, if they actually did something in the MCU.
Right.
Like,
well,
I
like
don't
so. My
know.
point being, like 1984. Could that be when Thanos like?
Oh, 1982.
Oh
Titan.
no, wait. I'm sorry. 1982.
Yeah, I don't know.
1982 could have been. These could all be major like apocalypses.
Oh, sure. They might be. Yeah,
because
we don't
like
know.
1982 could also have been when
when
the
Titan
famine,
blew up,
when Titan
like cracked. and
yeah,
everything? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. 1947. Now this one is on Earth. It's in New York, and the only reason why I kept it is because 1947 was the time period that Sharon Carter was helping to start Shield. So that's important for Earth.
Okay.
0051, so 51, year 51, on Hala, which is the Kree's homeworld.
Yeah.
So 51, year 51. And then year 1001 on Xandar, home of the Nova Corps.
Oh.
So really interesting. Like, I mean,
like, could that be?
I'm hoping that they're actually going to use all those things.
Could be. Yeah, I could think of a couple of things of like, is that the year the Nova Corps was established?
Right, to protect people because of what happened.
The on shoot.
On Earth?
No, the other one you had just said.
Hala. On Hala. The Kree's homeworld?
Yeah, on Hala, is that when the AI came into existence?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like, are these major events
is that where
the
periods Supreme
on these planets
where
something drastically changed? Like, I think about Ego, like, is that when he created Ego?
Right,
like
when he built himself into a planet.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the things that
right.
I think about.
Are
like,
these groundbreaking events in the MCU history?
Exactly.
So if that's the case, then what's going to happen?
Being disrupted.
Well, then, or they're being
because they would have to significantly impact the timeline.
Well, or they're being created. And what ends up happening is Loki and the Variant come together to help maintain those because those are what make our world. I don't know. Like
I don't know.
Well, no, but they'd all be going different directions. They're all their own.
Exactly.
They're all their own.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, it's just weird. It's cool to see all those different planets though come up.
Yeah, I love that.
And
they brought
what are
all
they
going
to do with all of them?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's cool. That's cool. Well,
man.
we'll see.
Yeah, next episode. Can't wait for the next episode. This
is one
show
of those
has
shows,
been kicking.
This is one of those shows. I mean, all of these have been really tough.
Oh yeah.
Except, I mean, like we're doing the Bad Pod with the Bad Batch.
Right.
I can wait a week.
Yeah.
These are ones where I'm like, you gotta be.
I wish
me.
they just all. I
Just
kind of wish
drop it.
they'd all drop.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also don't, because then our life would be a living nightmare.
Oh, it'd be a nightmare.
Trying to do all those episodes.
But what I am saying, for my own sanity, I kind
Yes.
of wish like that I had the next one to dig into.
True. Well, there's a lot of meat in these episodes. These are some longer streaming pods that we're going through. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with us. We can't wait till the next episode, man.
That's right. Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/Legion of CC. New episodes come out every Monday.
And Wednesdays.
No, just Mondays.
And Wednesdays?
I don't think we can do Wednesdays.
We can do Wednesdays.
All right, Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same Legion.